And action. Welcome, everyone. David G. here with the Internet Marketing Party and our very special guest, the one, the only, Andrew Locke. How are you, Andrew?
Good, Dave. Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. One of the things I was about to ask you before we hit record on the button here is, let's go ahead and tell everyone that's listening, this is, Andrew is going to be one of our trifecta, triple super duper power speakers. The first time we've ever had 3 guest speakers at the Internet Marketing Party, and that he's one of the trifecta trio in Lee, Locke, and Farrell. Or is it Locke, Lee, and Farrell?
Well, I didn't like to say, but it is Locke, We just, funnily enough, we had a great time sorting out the order because we were trying to figure what order would flow the best. So that's the only reason I'm first, If Ryan had his way, then he would be first. But it had to be an agreement, so...
Well, just so that folks know what to expect from this 10-15-minute video interview is Andrew Locke. You've had you got your start about 7 or 8 years ago in the online marketing space, and have a very successful following, largely because of your show called "Help My Business Sucks." And one of the favorite things that people enjoy is your what is it again? Your
resources. I call them nifty clicks, but these kind of nifty, little known resources that can help your business. Many of which are free or low cost. Websites and tools that are available online that can really help you. So,
all right. So before the end of this call, you're going to share some of the best nifty clicks that you've compiled over the last.
I'll do my best.
All right. Very cool. So, one of the things that I'm excited about having you on board is I'm the kind of guy that I'm what I like to call a lazy networker. I find people that I have built long, trusted, resourceful relationships with, the smartest people I know. And one of those is somebody who helped me get the Internet Marketing Party started in the first place. His name is Michael Lovich.
Oh, yeah, he's a partier.
Yeah, he built his business. He's built several 8-figure businesses online, and he's pretty protective of his time. And I found out a couple of years ago that your show is one of the only marketing resources that he listens to and watches on a regular basis. So
he's the one, yes.
He's that one guy that watches on your page view when it says one. Yeah.
So I know I have at least one viewer. That's really cool.
Yeah. So what are you going to be talking about on the stage? Because we have a contest here going.
Yeah.
Ryan Lee said that he wants comments down below about whose interview is most engaging, So I'm just going to let you take it away.
That sounds like Ryan. Well, I don't know if he explained this, but I guess it is no harm in repeating it. Ryan Lee, who his background was in the fitness industry, but he's an expert marketer now, particularly as it relates to continuity programs, membership sites, that kind of thing. And then Chris Farrell, who is a master teacher, particularly for the newbie crowd, and has a lot of experience with membership sites, and does a great job at making complex things simple. And then myself, I guess they just needed 3, so I was the third. My background is in web TV, and I have produced and co-produced more web TV shows than anyone else on the planet, certainly to my knowledge and investigation, approaching 100 now, different shows, that is. And of course, I'm a marketer as well, and been on the internet for a long time, and certainly longer than many people in this industry. So the 3 of us really decided to join forces and collaborate and create this brand called Locke, Lee, and Farrell, primarily as a way to provide a resource and a place, a home, if you like, for people that really felt frustrated at the dark side of internet marketing, if you like. As we all know, there are so many complaints of bad products and services. A lot of products and product launches are positioned as the magic pill, the magic bullet. We all know that they're not. Even if they are good products, we feel that a lot of marketing online has gone too far, stretching the bounds of what is appropriate and so on. And there has been a backlash, and I think a lot of people have seen that backlash. When times are tight and money is, people are more careful about spending their money, which they are. What we're seeing is this cautiousness, and combined with the fact that many people have been burned, they really are scaling back. And so product launches haven't been as successful, and events attendances are lower than they've ever been, and so on. And so we feel that we can contribute to perhaps balancing up the state of the industry again, providing good quality products and services at reasonable prices, and because of our longevity in the internet world and our good reputations, that those people that are more cautious or have been burned, hopefully they'll gravitate more towards us, and we can keep them happy with a range of good quality.
So if I could sum that up, who's Obi-Wan, who's Gandalf, and who's Dumbledore?
Well, I've never heard us described in that way. In recent times, I've been described as the Yoda of marketing, which I found quite fascinating, because I am not short with pointy ears, and I'm not green. But I get the gist of it, so I guess that's quite flattering in some ways. But no, in all seriousness, we do, the three of us get along really well. We resonate. We're all experts at what we do, and we're frustrated, to be honest with you. It affects our business when people have been burned, when they buy products and services that aren't up to standard, and so on. So you know how it is. I mean, yep. There's a lot of people that frankly just don't care about customers. They are only in it to make a fast buck, and we've seen a lot of those people come and go, but there's always going to be those people around. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at. We're doing a TV show together called Lock, Lee and Farrell, the Business Mavericks, which we've already recorded the first season of that. So it takes a long time to get it on TV, but we're happy about that, and we're doing some good things in the marketplace. So at the event, we'll be really talking about the state of the industry. We'll be talking about how you can still stand out from the crowd, even in a very competitive marketplaces, the latest sources of traffic, and a lot more. So between the three of us, hopefully we will come up with something for everybody that you'll be excited about and you can go away and use. Because again, we are really about practical stuff. I hate just talking about marketing theory, because although that has a place, and I study a lot of marketing theory, I'm much more interested in what works, what's proven, what can I actually implement right now. The practical side of it is really the most important.
To that point, one of our past speakers is a gentleman, or a kid, I want to say. You'll probably like that. He's 24 years old. He started a company called Mass Mutual. His clients are Google, Dell, Audi, just NASA.
That's awesome.
They have to have $1 million to get started. And one of the things he mentioned in one of our private roundtable meetings that we put together is, he said most enterprise companies, they need to spend between $1 to $10 million in order to run a test that may or may not generate any profit.
Wow.
Whereas us direct response marketers, we can run a test with $500 to $1,000 and start a business that'll generate $1 to $10 million. So he's helped us kind of see that there's a real nice way that there could be an integration between the big corporate venture capital startup world and enterprise world, and us nimble direct response, just get her done kind of marketers. And That's what I like hearing, is that what you plan on presenting at the party is stuff that you can go home, test, and apply today that really works. That's not like, well, here's what should work.
That's what counts ultimately. It really is. So yeah, I'm all about the practical.
Right. Well, I know you've hosted a lot of shows and done interviews yourself. What's a question that you've never been asked while you've been interviewed that you've always thought, why didn't they ever ask? Aside from your experience on the cruise ship, your Titanic.
Yeah, you heard about that.
We'll talk about that before we wrap up. But what's a question that you've always been surprised that no one's ever asked you?
That's pretty interesting. I don't think anybody's actually asked me about the time that I spent with managing a celebrity who was kind of like the Johnny Carson or David Letterman of England. And I spent 4 or 5 years being his manager. And as it happened, he was a genius marketer. In fact, he's a genius. He has probably, among the highest IQs in the world. So for me, a lot of my practical marketing, real world marketing came from my association and time spent with him. So I'm surprised that people don't ask more about that aspect.
What's his name?
Paul Daniels is his name.
Paul Daniels.
And he's actually not known in the States very much. But he's certainly on the scale of someone like Letterman, because his show was on the BBC primetime for over 15 years. It was syndicated in 43 countries, one of which was not America. So he actually likes coming to the States because he can walk the streets without being mobbed everywhere.
Wow! So he can wear. You can get him one of those T-shirts that says "I'm huge in England."
Yeah, that's right. He's an older guy now. He's I guess he's in his 70s, but fascinating individual. And we actually created an info product together. At that time I didn't even know, that it was called an info product. We just created something that we thought would be of interest. It was called How to Make Money by Magic, because he was known for being an expert magician with card tricks and things like that. So nice. we created this course. It was 12 modules, and it was fun to do, and that was really my first big success with information products sold online.
Nice. And so, if you had to pinpoint the most significant concept, lesson, idea that you got from Paul? You said,
I think the biggest lesson was to look at what other people in your industry are doing and completely ignore it and do something, if not opposite, completely different. And that, when the penny dropped, as it were, and I really embraced that concept, it changed my whole world, my whole way that I looked at marketing. Because
can you give us an example of
I'm trying to think of a specific, without giving a specific example, in general terms, what most business owners do is copy other business owners. Well, here's an example. If you think about plumbers, the vast majority of plumbers think that the right thing to do to market their business is to put an ad in Yellow Pages. And all their ads will look fairly similar, because one looks at the other, maybe the biggest ad, and they model it after that one. Well, the net result of that is that you've got this, 20 competing plumbers in the Yellow Pages who all look the same. There's not one of them that stands out. And so by being more creative with marketing, perhaps, having doing some regular interviews, or on a radio show locally, or writing for a newspaper, or things like that, you can much more easily stand out from the crowd, be positioned as the expert in your field, and get the lion's share of the business. But most business owners don't do that. They look at what other people in their industry are doing, internal to that industry, and they say, well, I'll do that as well because that seems to be, what works. But then no one stands out, and that's
Makes
one of
sense.
the biggest lessons.
Cool. Well, I dig it. I'm glad I asked the follow-up. So before we close off by talking about your Titanic experience, give us a couple of some of your nifty clicks and
Sure, yeah. All right, I'll try and race through a few of these. Most people are familiar with Fiverr. Did you like the way I said that? Fiverr.
Yeah. That way
two R's.
It's got 17 R's at the end of it.
Exactly. I don't do the rolling of the R's thing. I can't do that.
Fiverr.
Exactly. Fiverr. There's spin-off sites now. One of my favorite spin-off sites that uses the Fiverr concept is Fitty Town. FITTYTOWN. Fitty. Now,
Is that where you can get bootlegs of 50 Cent records?
Well, I think that's why they named it that. Is the kind of street talk Fitty. It's where everything is $50, and so the kind of tasks that you can get are obviously much more substantial than you would find on Fiverr. It's exactly the same concept. It works in exactly the same way, but bigger, more broader tasks. And you can go on there and take a look. It's pretty cool.
And it's Fitty what?
Fitty Town.
FITTYTOWN.
You got it. Next one is Join Me. Join.me. Have you used this, Dave?
No.
Join Me is screen sharing over the internet. It is free, and it is by far the easiest way to share your screen with someone and show them what you're working on. How it works is you go to the homepage, join.me, M-E. You click share, the share button, which is on the homepage. It downloads a tiny piece of, I think, JavaScript code, and it gives you a number, 6 numbers. And that short 6 numbers, you tell the other person. They go to join.me and they type those 6 numbers in the box. Mm-hmm. And then when they type those in, they click the green button to go, and they see your screen. It is as simple as that. It works flawlessly, and I can't believe it's free. It is absolutely wonderful. So if you're using LogMeIn or GoToMyPC, that kind of thing, to share your screen with someone else or a group of people, join.me is so much easier, and it's free.
Well, that's really cool.
I like that one.
And I bet that's a lot of people are going to love that, because especially for outsourcers and project managers.
Exactly. If you're working on projects and tasks and so on, it's perfect for that. Next one is WeTransfer. WeTransfer.com. So it's W-E and then the word transfer.com. It's like You Send It, except you don't need to register, and instead of 100 megabytes maximum for sharing a file, you can send up to 2 gigabytes. So for sharing large files, again, super duper quick and easy and simple and free. Just like You Send It, except larger files and no registration required.
Awesome. And you promised you're going to give us the username and password to your Playboy.com account too, right?
Did I promise that? I think that was Ryan.
Oh, no, that was Farrell. Never mind.
Yeah, sounds like something he'd promise. The last one I'll share with you, because I know we're crunched for time, is for voiceovers. If you want an introduction to a new product, or maybe you want an ebook that you've created or guide read and offer that as a bonus, that kind of thing.
Right.
Voices.com. Voices.com is a place to find inexpensive professional voiceover talent. You can search by male, female, age range, languages, and so on, things like that. And it makes the process of finding someone to record a professional voice extremely easy. Voices.com.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you. I'm going to hop onto all of those. Of those are it's always good when there's no dud. I have the best resources. You're 4 out of 4. So let's see. So let's wrap up with your Titanic experience. So those of you that don't know this, don't keep up with Andrew Locke. He was on a vacation, and go ahead. I'll let you tell the story.
Well, it was quite dramatic. You can read the story on Facebook and CNN. what happened was we were on a cruise line called Silver Sea, which is an Italian cruise line, believe it or not. And we were off the coast of Vietnam, about 5 miles out. And it was so foggy this morning that you literally couldn't see anything past the railings on the ship. You just couldn't see anything. Well, we were motoring along. We were coming into the closer to the land, and the foghorn was going off all morning on the ship to warn other ships. Well, my wife and I were up in the observation lounge at the front of the ship, and it was pretty quiet. It was about probably 10 of us all together. Well, we heard the foghorn go off on the ship. I looked up out of the window, and to our horror, we saw this cargo ship or container ship literally side on, just about 100 feet away, because it had just appeared out of the fog. So the only thing I could think of saying, the words that kind of blurted out of my mouth were, "We're gonna hit it," which was pretty obvious, but it's the only thing I could think of saying. It was like just the shock. We're gonna hit it. So sure enough, within about 3 seconds, we T-boned it directly in the side of this cargo ship. So it was a big ship. The ship rolled over like this, about 90 degrees. I thought it was going to capsize, I really did. But it came up like this, it righted itself. And the forward momentum of our ship, which, because we were going in this direction, pushed the back of this ship round, and it kind of ground itself alongside our ship. And, we saw really, really bad damage to the other ship. It crushed their bridge. There were crew laying on the floor. I mean, it was pretty nasty scene to visualize. And, it just kind of like went off into the fog. Immediately, the alarm went off on our ship for everybody to get to the muster station. So we raced back to our cabin, put on our life jackets. Everybody was running down to the meeting points, muster stations on the decks. They were preparing to lower the lifeboats, and they sent a little boat round the front of our ship to kind of assess the damage. Well, as it turned out, we came off a lot better than they did. Our ship did have a hole in the front, up high, and was pretty dented and beaten up, but it was still seaworthy, because that was the strongest part of the ship, the front, the bow, by far. They came off a lot worse. If that ship had hit us in the side, we would have sunk for sure. Wow. Because that's a weak part of the vessel, and it just would have anyway. So we were, as it happened, as it all turned out, it was a very scary experience, something I'll never forget. And then CNN caught wind of the story a couple of days later. Before I knew it, I was on CNN all day around the world, and doing Skype interviews with multiple shows and so on. So it was it was quite an interesting experience, all in all.
And was this before or after that big accident that happened in Italy? It
was after, so it was a couple of months after, and to be honest, that's what was going through everybody's mind when we were. As soon as it happened and we were all called, the alarm bells going off on the ship and so on, I think pretty much everyone on there was thinking, oh, great, here it goes again, another Costa Concordia.
Right.
That's for sure. That's what we were thinking. So.
Right. Well, I'm glad you made it out safe and sound.
Yes.
I just remember
the drama is over. Thank goodness.
We were trying to get you and because Ryan reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm already coming to Affiliate Summit. Can I speak at your party again?" And I was like, "Nah, man, we don't let speakers speak more than once. We only do them once a month." And and he goes, "Well, I was like, "But if you can get Locke and Farrell, then I can."
Yes.
And he goes, "Well, damn."
Very good. No, I'm excited about it. I've read lots of good things. I saw some pictures from previous years, and I thought, why haven't I been there before? So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right, and maybe we can go out to Chicken Shit Bingo.
You remember that?
Yeah.
How funny!
We went out there with Jason Van Orden, and
that's right. I never forget that.
Yeah, that was fun times.
That was, wasn't it?
Yep. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for taking some time out of your day today, and we will see you Monday, May the 14th.
Yes,
in
indeed.
Austin, Texas.
Are you based in Austin?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so
Yeah. And so everybody listening, the party starts Monday, May 14th. Get there by 5:30 because for the first time in over 3.5 years, Locke, Lee, and Farrell are taking the stage at exactly 7 o'clock. In fact, I'll probably have them getting mic'd up and everything by 6:45 because this is like a party convoy. There's another party going on right after ours. And Sean Collins, the founder of Affiliate Summit, made us promise that we would have all of the other parties wrapped up by midnight. So we're kicking off the party convoy.
the excitement never ends.
Yeah, so. Alrighty. Well, thanks a bunch. And we will see you Monday and talk soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dave. See you there.
Thank you.